Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Fenn, the CEO of the BC Recreation and Parks Association, and I'm pleased to have here with me today two of our candidates for the 2025 to 2027 board. So I will have them introduce themselves. They're going to share a fun fact about themselves as well. And we're going to go in alphabetical order. So Aggie, we'll get you to go first.
Thanks, Katie. My name is Aggie Wheel. I'm coming to you from the unceded ancestral territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nation, also known as the city of Nanaimo. Um, Fun fact about myself. Well, I have been a university professor for 20 years and I'm still alive and not totally gray. No, seriously, I have been involved in recreation now for the better part of 35 to 40 years on and off through starting in day camps and then doing my education across the country. I've attended 4 different universities for the study of recreation. And I love it. I love what we do and I love what we can bring.
Thank you, Aggie. Over to you, Nicole.
Great. Thank you so much. So good morning. My name is Nicole Beauregard. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm coming to you today from the traditional territory of the Coastal Tsimshian peoples, or also known as Kayan Island or Prince Rupert. In terms of a quick geography lesson, we're about a 22-hour drive north of Vancouver, or a 2-hour flight, or around 60 kilometers by boat from Alaska. The community that I currently live in has a demographic of approximately 55% Indigenous peoples. So we have a really amazing quality and culture in our community. I currently work as the Director of Recreation and Community Services for the City of Prince Rupert. I'm also a Master Learning Facilitator with Sport for Life and the National Coaching Certification Program. I've been in the sector in the field for over 28 years, so love everything Parks Culture Rec. And a fun fact about me is I've lived and worked on 3 different continents and have traveled to 23 different countries.
Oh, great. Thank you both so much. So we'll go to the next question, and that is, why do you want to be on the BCRPA board and the priorities you hope to address during your time?
Okay.
Go ahead, Aggie.
Well, I would like to return to the board. So I've been on the board for the last 2 years, and as the sole academic on the board, I think I bring a different voice. And that's one of the reasons I would like to return to the board. I think that we need to strengthen partnerships between professional practice and what happens in post-secondary education. And one of the ways to do that is having a board member with BCRPA who is a member of the post-secondary institution. Some of the things that I've achieved or we've achieved during the last 2 years that makes me want to return and continue is actually a strengthened relationship between post-secondary organizations in British Columbia. So through my board role, we've strengthened the relationship between Vancouver Island University, where I'm at, Langara College. We've renewed connections with College of the Rockies and Douglas College, University of Victoria. So it's just really exciting time. I think as importantly, recreation programs across the country have been disappearing. So we need to make sure we have a strong advocacy voice from the provincial organizations like BCRPA to the whole sector of post-secondary to argue that we need specific training for recreation professionals so that we have a robust future for an essential service that's being delivered.
Great. Thank you so much, Aggie. Nicole, over to you.
Great, thank you. I'm really excited for this opportunity to be nominated, and really I'd love to support leadership development and access inclusion for northern communities. I think it's really important on a provincial board that we have actually all areas of the province represented, and I know I could be that supportive voice for small and remote communities, as well as help provide connections to support our Indigenous communities and continue partnership with Engage Sport North, iSpark, etc. I think there's a lot of cross connections we can do. There's a lot of northern realities that are just often not considered in terms of programming, training, funding, and it really does look different in the north. We operate very different from the rest of the province. So I know as a board member, I could help bring forward that lens to BCRPA. We have a huge region in the north. And I can also be that champion for the amazing things BCRPA is doing and share those practices with the North and work with everyone together. So I've consulted and worked in many different communities across Canada as well as overseas, and have been in the field a long time. I'm really passionate about the sector and physical literacy. I've been exposed to different provincial models, and these are all opportunities where we can work together to really bring in social connection and quality of life to recreation and parks. I know that if I was provided the opportunity, we would also be able to work really closely with our regional liaison, bringing forward those connections, supporting the North through things like virtual networking opportunities, training, professional development, programming supports, and more importantly, partnership. I think there is a huge gap that we can really focus and work together by really connecting the rest of the province together. I'm also really passionate about all lifelong learning, and I think it's really important to also be surrounded by other professionals in the field on the board, which can also enrich just not only my learning experience, but hear about those best practices from across the province and then bring those voices forward to the North as well. So, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Nicole. And those of you who have hung on to watch the video, you're in for a treat because this is our last question. And the question is, can you answer the biggest trend or tip that you would share with someone on recreation and parks in BC? So over to you, Aggie.
Okay, so I obviously look through a different set of lenses when I look at trends. I'm not in the facilities and programming on a daily basis. I'm working with the next generation and or looking at the research. And I think the biggest trend that I see is a reinforcing of the physical aspects of recreation and the benefits that are associated with that, but looking for ways to make sure that that physical is happening in a social context. Social isolation is the biggest issue we're facing right now. It is a bigger negative health consequence than sedentary lifestyle. So I see us looking to transition so that we're looking at socially active, physically active leisure.
Great. Thank you so much, Aggie. And then Nicole.
Great. Well, I think my biggest tip to share with those in the sector is to really learn about and take the time to understand physical literacy and the impact it actually has on a whole person's development throughout the lifespan. It's a lifelong journey. It's unique to every individual. And while in the simplest explanation, it is about movement, competence, motivation, and confidence, but we really know it's so much more than that. It's social inclusion, it's equity, it's fun, games, like connections. We really need to understand what that actually feels like and looks like in real life and how that really translates and connects to recreation, vocation, and ADLs or activities of daily living. Physical literacy spans across multiple sectors: education, research, sport, rec, culture, media. And it's really an opportunity to connect those pathways around research and practice, and then right on the ground to grassroots and how we are why we do what we do in community. It's to work with people, work with communities, and get people moving, happy and healthy.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. So over to all of you, please remember after watching this video to actually vote. So you've taken the time to watch the video. It takes way less time to actually cast your vote. So please go in and do that. And a big thanks to you, Aggie, and to Nicole. And we'll wave goodbye to our watchers.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.